myself into that situation. I was prideful. I thought I could do it. I started climbing those rocks, and I got myself into that situation of despair. And, I told you guys last night that life is tough, that life is hard, and life is full of unexpected turns. However, the thing is that I think many of those unexpected turns that we face aren't as unexpected as we'd like to admit. Sometimes we will look at hindsight and we'll look back and we'll look and see the progression of how we got there, of how we got to that moment of despair. And we kind of we're a little bit disappointed in that. We say, man, I really messed that up, or I really got myself into that situation. Now, despair, you guys, and like I said, we're talking about despair today. The first thing I want you guys to hear about despair is the fact that despair is our problem. Call me heartless, but it is. It's our problem. If we're in a moment of despair, it's our issue, it's our conflict, it's our life that's in trouble. It's our problem, okay? However, there is a word that counteracts that verb of despair, and that verb is, can you guess? Rescue. That verb's rescue. Okay, that's the counteraction of despair. When you're in despair, but then rescue happens, and then you're not in despair anymore. That's the counteraction. However, you need to know that rescue cannot happen without the introduction of another person. So it's your problem. You're in the despair, but rescue happens when another person of their own will and sacrifice decide to say, hey, I'm going to stick my neck out and I'm going to go pull that person out of despair. And then you're lifted up out of despair. And that's the major contrast between despair and rescue. But you got to know that rescue doesn't happen unless there's that other person, that other element of the situation. And guys, we're going to be talking about 3 different types of stereotypical rescue scenarios, and I'm going to relate them a lot to our lives in general and how these scenarios fit into our lives. The first of those scenarios is burning. Okay, something's on fire. It's the classic heroic firefighter story. The firefighter comes in and pulls people out of the flames. But when you're burning, okay, there's flames everywhere. Now, the thing about fires is that fires always have a start somewhere, whether it's, a cigarette butt or like a little spark from this issue or a little fire that gets out of control. Fires start. They start small and then they spread. They spread to this place, they spread to that place, and they grow, and then you're like in serious danger. Say you're in this house and it starts small and then soon your whole house is on fire and you're finding yourself surrounded by flames. Okay? But then, you have the heroic firefighter who comes in, all geared up in his attire, and he bursts through the flames, and he's there, and he pulls you out, and he rescues you, okay? Guys, many of us could say that we are in a fire scenario. And what that means is the fire scenario is that you did something that you thought was so small. It started so small, one little action, one little thing that you've done, and it's beginning to get more and more out of control. It's grown more and more and more, and it's beginning to take over your life. It's beginning to surround you, and you're finding that you can't get out of there. Before, when it was small, it was controllable, but now it's out of control. And I'm speaking, you guys, of those temptations and those sins and those issues in your life that just are, destructive. Issues, guys, like drugs, alcohol, sex, pornography, vanity, gossip, anger issues, all these different things that start so small, but then they grow. What about even video games? I mean, I'm a gamer, I like video games, but video games can get out of control. You guys laugh, but it's serious, I think there's clinics nowadays for like people with video game addictions and that because they just can't stand that. They'd rather live that life than the life that they're in. And they can't get out of that. I want you guys to open up your Bibles. Because I asked you guys to bring them this, okay? I want you guys to open your Bibles to Romans 7. Okay, we're going to be hitting on verses 18 through 20. Wait for the flipping to stop. All right. Here we go. Starting at verse 18 in Romans. I know that nothing good lives in me, that is, in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. For what I do is not the good I want to do. No, the evil I do not want to do, I do. This I keep on doing. Now if I do what I do not want to do, it is no longer I who do it, but it is a sin that is living in me that does it. This is Paul, like David. He's a warrior for Christ, and he's so solid for Christ. But here, Paul is telling us that he has a sin problem. We all have sin problems. He has an issue where he's saying, I've got a place where I want to do something, but I'm not doing it. I'm doing the things I don't want to do. Things are getting out of control. I can't handle it. I wish I could do this. I'm striving to do this, but somehow the sin nature within me makes me do this. He's facing that issue of being spun out of control by this thing that he refers to in verse 18 as the sinful nature. And that sinful nature, you guys, that's within us, that is the destructive thing that makes these fires happen. It starts small, and the sinful nature, it corrupts us, and it destroys us, and it builds these flames around us until we're in that issue of that scenario of despair. Choking on the smoke of your burning life, you're in despair. That's the burning scenario. The next scenario is drowning. Could there be, a better illustration of despair? Drowning is that'd be a horrible way to go. It's rising, the water's coming around, and you just can't breathe anymore. You're underwater. That's a very, very, very despairing situation. Now, I met a couple different people that play water polo, but I want to bring Ray up here. I want you to come up here. And I want Ray to help me out here. I played water polo as well, and so I'm very familiar with these things. But Ray, I wanted you to share with us perhaps the hardest tread water exercise you've ever had to do in water polo practice.
You ever have to put your hands up like this, that, and then you have to move side to side, over and over, like that. That's really hard. That's really hard. And then how long did you do something like that? I was going for a long time, about a minute, and then right when you think it's about done, when it's done, they'll just say when it's on the countdown, they'll be 10, 9, 8, and then they'll hold it, and they'll be 7. And then we have one coach, his name's Micah, he loves just to mess with us like that, but yeah, I'll be in the background.
Nice. Thanks, Ray. Hey, have a seat. I did an exercise in water polo. This thing was, this was horrible. Oh my gosh, it was bad. We had to hold one of those little chairs, the basic school chairs, and we'd hold up with the back 2 legs. We'd have to tread water, and we'd go to one end of the pool, and then we had to tread water back to the other end of the pool, and then the coach would put another chair on top of that chair, and then we had to tread to one end of the pool, and then back into the pool, and if we were still alive, he'd put another chair on, and he'd go, and it's I don't think I ever made it. It was so hard, and your legs are on fire, and it's bad. Now, these scenarios of treading water. Now, some of us could probably, tread water for maybe, if it was easy, if it were just in the water, we might be able to tread water for hours. Some of us might be able to tread water for seconds, okay? But what's going to happen is that eventually you're going to sink. You're going to sink. like I said, whether it's 5 hours later or whether it's 5 seconds later, you're going to sink. Okay? And this is the same scenario that's going to happen if you overfill your life with pressures and stresses. Okay? I'm telling you guys, when you just, pack your life with all these different commitments and pressures and stresses, it's just you're going to be treading water, you're going to be trying to stay afloat, but eventually you're going to begin to sink. Guys, it's those pressures of, I gotta be the best baseball player on the team. I've always been the best baseball player. I just gotta continue to be the best baseball player. My parents expect me, to get, A's on these tests. I want to get A's. I gotta be an A student. And just stressing your life out. I just gotta do it. It just consumes you. These type of stresses and pressures they're heavy, and the more you stack onto you, the more likely you're going to go down, and you're going to begin to sink.